Welcome back to Bill's Bets and Beers. I'm your host, Chad. Let's jump right into this video. Big game coming up. Thursday Night Football, opening its season. Chiefs versus Lions. First, you think that's not going to be a big deal. I thought that was like a joke of a matchup. A couple, probably a month or two ago, thinking, why would they put that in there? I know the Lions are coming up strong, so don't come at me, Lions fans. But I just didn't see this with a fully healthy, and fully ready to go Chiefs team. This would be, I didn't think it'd be a walk in the park, but I thought they could handle themselves and get out of here with a win. But let's get in some injury updates because some big news came in halfway about 2-3 o'clock today. Travis Kelce came up with an injury. He actually had hyperextended his knee during practice today. And I'm not sure if any of you have ever done that before. I'm not sure how bad he hyperextended it, but if it's hit the news and he didn't go back to practice, it probably was a big enough of a deal where he's definitely in question to play, like I said in the report. But personally, I think he's not playing. I know you can put normal person, you throw a wrap on it or some sort of a brace on it, and you have some limitations. He's had knee braces before out there, but I just don't think they're going to risk it this early in the year if it has any potential of really affecting him if he hurts it again, especially if you're doing cuts and doing a drop, doing quick stops and stuff on a route to make someone miss or direct them a different way. And even blocking, all that pressure on his legs going back, I don't see them wanting them in there if he's not 100%, or if it can risk him being out for more weeks than necessary. So I'm not expecting to see him back this week, maybe not even next week, depending on how serious it is. But so he was out of practice today. Then you have Ladarius Sneed, the cornerback. He was also out today and yesterday he did limited practice both days with a knee injury. Maybe they're just trying to nurse something, he kind of tweaked something during practice. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but if he's not playing, it will definitely bode well for the Detroit offense at this point. And then wide receiver Kadarius Toney, he's not that big. You may not think he's a big piece, but he came in. He has a speed. He is a decent wide receiver, and he came in and helped them get to and win the Super Bowl last year. Having get him to be a little bit of, I don't know, be a little bit safe with it, I'm guessing. Just try not to push it. He probably heard it earlier during the year and just trying to get him up to it, the game speed. He already know he's been there for a whole off season. He has a better idea of the playbook. He has chemistry with the quarterback, so there's no real rush to get him a full practice. But look for the full practice Wednesday, and that's going to tell you. I mean, it's just going to be a quick walkthrough, but having a full practice on a walkthrough is great for these players, especially if Kelce does a full. That'd be very interesting. On the other side, the Lions, no one really injured, so that's good for them, besides the cornerback Emmanuel Mosley. If he doesn't play, that might be a big deal because even without Travis Kelce there, they have a lot of fast wide receivers and running backs, so it'd be very interesting how they play this. But he has a knee injury, same thing as the others, limited participation Monday, Tuesday. But let's jump right into these storylines. I have just 3 going on, nothing too crazy. You got your, obviously, let's start off with the elephant in the room. Chris Jones isn't playing. He's trying to get some money, and rightfully so. He's one of the top best 3 techs out there. So you got to think they're going to have to pay him, or maybe he'll play after week 8. Who knows? Because he's going to have to get some money this year. Maybe he won't. So it's be interesting to see how this Jonesless defense kind of comes in and faces this improved Lions offense. They have a lot of quick young people on this offense, and I think it's pretty fast. It's a pretty fast-paced offense from what it used to be. So it's be very interesting because they did very well last year, second half of the year. So I want to see how they're going to be coming in and playing against a little bit of a banged up, not even banged up, just missing personnel on the Chiefs side, because their secondary was always kind of in question. In a sense, that was like their weaker point, because they could usually stop the run. It's just your secondary wasn't always a strong suit. But now you don't have Chris Jones up there to kind of like force the quarterback to get rid of the ball or make someone double team them. Without having that person up there that they're going to have to force double team, it's going to be very interesting how, I don't know, at least to me, how the Chiefs defense handles this little bit of a challenge coming up. Secondly, I got, how is the Chiefs offense going to look with a possible no showing from Kelce? You have to think, like, when they lost Tyreek Hill, everyone thought, oh, they're done for. But they weren't. They came back. They used a lot of, like, younger wide receivers, picked some talent up off teams like the Giants with Tony, and they made it work, especially with a rookie running back, everything. They made everything work. It's just very interesting how, like, they made the impossible happen. They won the Super Bowl after not having Tyreek, losing a top wide receiver because they don't want to pay him $30 million because they can't with the Mahomes contract coming up. Kelce has a decent-sized contract. All these people they're paying. And now they haven't paid Chris Jones yet either. So maybe this works out as well. They don't have to do it, but it's going to be interesting how they look without Kelce. Kelce has been there. He's been the blanket, the safety blanket. He's been this person he can just throw it to at any time because he's always getting open. It seems like no one can cover him. But if he's not on that field, they're not going to have to double him. So they can play a more generalized defense towards them. Yes, they have fast guys, but their defense isn't any slouch either. They got a good front seven going for them, and a not bad like back part of the defense. So I think this would be very interesting, just seeing how they play this. Because last year, without Tyreek, they started off really slow, and I think they got to a point where they realized how they had to play to win games because they still had all those pieces, all those fast guys, still had Kelce. So they had to kind of learn early, like learn through the couple weeks of like losing games and stuff like that they should have won, and then got to a point where they got far enough and won a Super Bowl, obviously. But they might have another slow start this year if Kelce can't go and play the first week or so. This is just going to be interesting how, and just if they do come out strong still without Kelce there, that just shows you what a good coach can do for you. Lastly, just more towards the betting odds. How far is the betting line going to drop on this? It just makes me think, what are they going to, like, how low is Vegas going to go? It was at -6.5, and obviously the Chiefs' favor. Now it's down to -5, the lowest I've seen, but it's around 5.5, 5. So it's already dropped a point and a half, literally almost immediately after that news about Kelce maybe not playing. So very interesting how they go around this. But yeah, that's it for the storylines. I don't want to drag them on too long, but definitely going to be a very interesting show, I think, to at least watch at this point. Now let's get into my parlays, the money side of the business. So it's going to be very, very interesting how this goes, personally, for me. I have a couple big parlays going on here, and some of them are a little far-fetched, but I like to go, it's a bit low risk, high reward. That's what I like to do. I want to put $1 or $2 down, try to make $180, $200 per dollar back. So if I put $2, I can get like $160, $200, things like that. I got a couple bigger ones coming up, as you can tell on the bottom of the screen. But yeah, let's get into this one. I have a 5-leg same game parlay through FanDuel. They actually had this. If you haven't done it yet, definitely go to FanDuel and set this up. They have a promotion going on that's actually giving you plus 50%. I forgot what it was. It was like a plus 50% profit boost. So whatever your thing is, it's giving you a plus 50%, whatever your boost was, your profit was at that point. So, but yeah, anyways, I put it in there. I got 2 anytime touchdowns. One is Amon-Ra St. Brown. Then I have Patrick Mahomes. In this game, I think Mahomes is going to be running more without Kelce there. Yes, he has fast wide receivers. He has decent running backs, and he's going to be dropping. He's going to be dumping off a couple passes towards McKinnon and their way because I think they're going to have to, just without having Kelce there, obviously. But yeah, so it did make sense. And the Mahomes was plus 410, so you can't beat those odds. And St. Brown was plus 110. It's more likely for him to get in the end zone, especially with the type of defense that the Chiefs could show up with. Yes, and then I have Jared Goff over 1.5 passing touchdowns. It's minus 130 odds. You got to throw a couple of these in because they just extend your same game parlay and it gives you better odds than a 2 to 3 like parlay. If you turn into a 4 to 5 with some almost guaranteed with a little bit less odds boosting towards you, that it helps you out tremendously. I just see him getting at least 2 touchdowns this game. I think the defense is going to allow it. They're going to be running enough, and then they're going to it's going to open up the passing game for him. And without Chris Jones putting the pressure, I think Goff's going to have time to throw. And if he does anything like he did last year, especially towards the end, they're going to have the chance to get these 2 touchdowns minimum. Then I have game total under 52.5 points. That's at minus 110. I think this is kind of it's a no-brainer to me. I don't see either of these teams getting 27 points, especially not towards the 30-point range. I think this is the first game of the year. It's going to be a slugfest. It's going to be around like a 17-21, 21-24, 20-23 type of game where it's going to be very close and a touchdown away, but they're just going to – one team's going to win by 3. I think that's what's going to happen. 3 to 4 point margin, there's not going to be much of a difference there. With that total odds boost, it brought my total up to 31,685. That's a payout of $635 with just betting $2. Like I said, I just do smart bets like this. I'm not putting $20-30 at a time down and losing money, big money. I can do little small bets like this, and this allows me to enjoy it and not get too stressed out about things like that. Because if you get too stressed out, that's no good. Next bet I got is coming on the bottom of the screen. It's a 5-leg same game parlay through DraftKings. I got 2 anytime touchdowns again. I always like to do this type of play out. David Montgomery is plus 105, and then I have Jerick McKinnon plus 180. I think Jerick McKinnon's going to get a passing touchdown. I don't think it's going to be rushing, unless it's like a quick reverse or something like that by the goal line. But I think it's going to be like a little flip pass or like a nice little dump off, and he gets like 10 yards by the end zone within the red zone area and gets in the touchdown. I mean, it just makes sense. They do this all the time. He's a quick guy, and if they've been trying to if they're trying to throw it in there often in the beginning, it's going to be a thing where they just drop it off, make it seem like a play is going on the other side, and then dump it off to him on this side, or he just does a little reverse after he catches it. It's something like that's going to happen in the game. So good odds, plus 180. I was surprised it was kind of that high, but I took it nonetheless. Then I have Amon-Ra St. Brown getting over 84.5 receiving yards. I'd see him getting towards 6-7 receptions, at least this game, and probably towards 100 yards. But I took the plus 84.5 just to be safe. It was the one just above negative odds. It's plus 115. So it gives you good little boost, and it's more in the possible. I'm not going to above 100 yards because I'm not saying that Goff's just going to go off this game to Amon-Ra because he's probably definitely be doubled because he's the wide receiver 1. So I wouldn't see him getting all those yards, but I see him at least getting 84, 80 towards that 90 mark. But it's just hard to see it going over that and guaranteeing it. Then I have Chiefs total under 24.5 points. This is plus 175. It's similar to how I said in the other one, the game total's below. It's just following that same pattern. I see Chiefs maybe getting 24 points this game. I don't think they're going to blow out the Lions, or they're going to have a giant slugfest where it goes up 30 points apiece. I see them, like it's a modest points, 24. They're going to get like 2 to 3 touchdowns, and maybe a field goal, but I just don't see them getting much more than that against this defense, especially if Kelce's not there. That's how I'm putting these in. So that seems like good odds to me, plus 175. Then you have final one, which is like this kind of like pushes the envelope where this might kill my parlay, but I put it in there because it's more possible now with the circumstances of this game coming up with Kelce not in, Chris Jones not playing. I got Detroit money line plus 180. This seems very doable to me, and I'm very happy to see that it was a plus 180 for it. If you went with the spread, it was like minus 120 still, minus 110. So you still would have got decent odds, but it just if you can get a positive, go for it, obviously. So total odds on this one, it came up to 5,500. Pretty good little payout I got going for me. It's gonna be $2 turns into 112. Like I said, I usually try to get towards the 8,100, but for some reason with the ones I was picking, it just wasn't adding up to it. I was not gonna add another leg to it or something more stressful. I already have the one big payout, so this one's a little bit more manageable, and it's still kind of, like I said, you're still picking 5. 5 things have to happen, but I like go easy way to break it down. You go with 1 to 2 anytime touchdowns. I like 2. Pick 1 from each team. Then do some sort of like a rushing or receiving. If like receptions is great. If you know a player that is generally going to get more than 5, or like get the nice 3.5, like the 4 catching, 4 receptions mark. It's really cool, especially if you look at the running backs receiving. They'll have like at 2.5 receptions or 3 receptions. You can easily take the over on some games when you know they usually just dump the ball off and they get yards that way. So definitely check stuff like that out. And then I don't know, just it's nice you can mess with the total points. Like it's kind of tricky, but doing something with like taking the spread or going against the spread, or like if that your team's getting points, just adding a money line thing in there. It'll save you. It'll add an extra line to your parlay and just boost you just enough. If it doesn't really boost it that much, don't risk it. But little things like that can help your odds boost up pretty heavy. Anyways, that's it for the Thursday Night Football parlays. I'm just gonna finish up here. Just a quick shout out to some sponsors. I mean, if you're ever interested in if you like crocheted stuff, like, oh, I love this crochet cardigan that person has, or I need like a hat, but it has to be kind of breathable so I don't sweat too much. Get a nice breathable, but still warm, hat for the winter. Or if you like cool little dragon scale looking gloves and things like that, and anything to that nature, like cool stuffed animals, blankets. My wife makes it all. She has her own crochet page. It's over on Instagram. I'll put the stuff down right here. Definitely check her out. She has tons of stuff on there. I model a couple of the cardigans and stuff. But they're all it's all based off the yarn. They can be lightweight. She's even made shirts, bikini tops, bottoms, anything like that. She can make it for you. If you find something online that you just like and just wondering how much it would cost to make, send it her way. She can look up try to find a pattern for it and give you an idea of rough estimated of what it would cost. And then shipping can come in later, obviously, if we get to that point. But yeah, check her out. She has tons of stuff on there. It's really great. And next, check out my buddy, Mr. Nasty Time. He has a great channel. He does football content as well. He's going to be dropping his power ranking soon. He does 1 through 32, all the teams. Sorry about the noise. My dog's playing back there a little bit. But yeah, he makes tons of content. He does some betting stuff. He does some UFC content because he was in the fight stuff for a little bit, and he knows a lot about pretty much every fighter you can think about, like how they fight, their weaknesses, everything like that. So he does some parlays with that as well, and he does gaming. He's been playing that new big open world Skyrim level like space thing, and he's put a couple hours streamed of that up already. So check it out if you're interested in that game. He does a lot of cool content. But yeah, I got some upcoming videos. I'm gonna be throwing some parlays, same game parlays for the weekend for the Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, things like that. I'll probably mix Sunday night from Monday Night Football. And also doing Bills versus Jets preview. I've been trying to find some Jets people to collaborate with, but it's been very difficult. So I'll probably just be doing it with myself, maybe my brother. I might be doing that tomorrow. I'm not going to be live streaming it because I don't want to do it eventually. But I might live stream like watching the Chiefs game. I just got to get my kids to bed on time. So that's going to be the goal for Thursday. Get them to bed, watch the game, and try to get myself a little live stream of it if I can get any. If no one's really watching, I'll probably cut it off at halftime. But just to see if anyone will watch it at all. But yeah, that's going to be it for me. Peace. And I'm out.